In Garde is a brightly colored, comedy-tinged, swashbuckling sword-fighting game released August 16th, 2023 by the French indie game studio Fireplace Games. It's an award-winning game that seems to take heavy inspiration from classic swashbuckling media like Zorro and has a rough playtime of somewhere between 4 to 10 hours. I played the game through GOG, and while the intro splash screen suggests the game was built to be played on a gamepad, I persevered against all odds with a mouse and keyboard. It worked fine for me. Ahoy matey, I'm Scurvy Banana, and I make YouTube videos a lot of the time about pirates and similar themes in games. I try to branch out a bit here and there, but most of my video catalog consists of reviews, guides, walkthroughs, and general thoughts over the topic of pirate games. Slowly trying to break into Nintendo stuff and maybe some giant robots too. If you want to keep up with my videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give the video a big old thumbs up. Thanks. The story is split into 4 vignette-type sections centered around the rebellious miscreant Adalia de Valador, as she finds her way to mostly frustrate the town duke. The first section consists of a cityscape chase, in which case you are chasing after your clearly not brother, the vigilante. The second story section features a prison escape after Adalia is arrested for something. And the third section features a team-up with our criminal crush as the duo attempts to break into the Duke's estate. And the final section is a pirate-style treasure hunt through the Count Duke's island fortress. Each section is pretty self-contained and doesn't really have a deep story or extensive dialogue beyond some satirical characters making some quips. The narrative, while wholeheartedly welcome and enjoyable, isn't really the main focus of this one over its gameplay. Typically, after a brief exposition of story dialogue, you are left to do some small platforming puzzles. There's a small amount of exploration here available with collectible secrets for achievements. The platforming isn't too crazy. Jump here, vault this, grapple a ledge here, and oop, another piece of dialogue, and now you're locked into a combat arena area until the enemies are defeated. The majority of gameplay is heavily centered around these combat sections. You do quick fencing attacks woven between kicks and combos, and enemies can do all of this to you as well. You'll need to dodge during the red attacks and parry during the blues. This quickly becomes complete chaos as the number of enemies increase per fight, as well as additional mechanics like the Grenadier causing you to dodge area of effect explosions, or the elite soldiers having extra defense until you use the exact correct moves to counter them. There's also a side of environmental fun to be had. You can kick enemies into weapon racks or send them to Davy Jones' locker off of the dock. You can light a gunpowder trail to set off a cannon and blast them to bits, but my favorite seems to be incapacitating the guards via dropping a bucket over their heads to blind them. Besides the main story, there is an arena mode which features solely combat sections, but the added benefit or detriment of modifiers. These modifiers can make you stronger or weaker in various aspects, which makes the arena mode highly replayable if you just can't get enough of this intense skill-based combat. I do have a couple of very minor gripes with the gameplay. There can be some hiccups with the environment. Enemies can become stuck on things as well as the player. Mostly minor and nothing game-breaking. Maybe one of those things where if you think it's funny enough, you can say it's a feature, not a bug. But it can be frustrating when you're just about to finish the boss fight and get stuck behind a cannon. In large group fights, there's also some targeting issues as well as problems locking onto enemies that require the perfect counter sequences. The graphics in this are fantastic to look at. Beautifully in bright colors over a slight cartoon offset, a stark comparison to the modern gaming market that seems to favor realism in all things grimdark. In line with the graphics, perhaps stereotypical, I thought the voice acting work was great and played equally as well over the Spanish instrumentation that was working as the exciting background music. The lighthearted comedy overtones so well into most aspects of the game here, as even some of the character animations themselves are visually comical. I can definitely recommend this game despite its relatively short length. Why? It offers a unique setting that rarely, if ever, is showcased in games, and more specialized gameplay experience. It's a short but very rich experience that absolutely does not overstay its welcome. A great game for fans of swashbuckling media.